Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, I finally got around to watching Clash at the Castle just a moment ago, a couple hours ago. Caught the archive. So I wanted to get on here and talk about it, give my thoughts. And yeah, let's get right into it. Now, apparently they did do a pre-show match, which I wasn't able to catch. But the pre-show match apparently was Madcap Moss teaming up with the Street Profits to take on Austin Theory and Alpha Academy, which Madcap Moss and the Street Profits did pick up the victory. Because like I said, I caught the archive, so I wasn't able to see the pre-show. But they had one pre-show match, and that was that match. But let's talk about the main card. So the main card kicked off with the women's trios match as Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair teamed up with Alexa Bliss and Asuka to take on Damage Control, the new stable formed between Bayley, Io Shirai, and Dakota Kai. But yes, they are now Damage Control. They're designated as Damage Control. So, this was a great match to start off the show. I felt like all 6 women were showcased really well. And it was even good to see more action go down between Io and Asuka. Not to mention, I gotta give kudos to Michael Cole. Michael Cole actually mentioned during this match Triple Tails, the stable that involves Io Shirai, Mio Shirai, and Asuka. He actually mentioned Triple Tails. I was very impressed. You know, you have to imagine under Vince McMahon, he wouldn't have been able to mention that. So hey, I call that a moral victory. That's a big moral victory, being able to mention the stable Triple Tails from a long time. You know, mentioning the history like that with Asuka and Io Shirai. So kudos to Michael Cole and just to WWE for, you know, allowing that to be mentioned during this match. So I thought that was really cool. If nothing else with the match, that was really cool that was mentioned. So I had to throw that in there. But otherwise, this was a good, solid opening match. I really liked what all 6 ladies brought to the table. And, you know, I thought it was a good finish. You know, Dakota Kai got the running Yakuza kick. Of course, Bayley was holding on to the braid of Bianca Belair. We had a Rose Plant moonsault combo finished. Bayley gets the pin on Bianca Belair. And Damage Control walks away with the victory. Which makes a lot of sense, being that, you know, unfortunately, Dakota Kai and Io Shirai didn't win the WWE Women's Tag Team title finals tournament. So I figured they were going to come into Clash at the Castle and pick up this victory. And surely enough, that is what happened. Also, shout out to Asuka. She came in rocking purple face paint, which I believe that's the first time she's worn the purple face paint. I know she usually does green. I think she's done blue as well, and I think pink. But I think that's the first time she's done purple, so definitely was digging that. But great opening match between these 6 ladies. Next up, we had what I thought can be argued as the best match of the card. We had the Intercontinental Championship match. Gunther defending against Sheamus. And not only did we get that match, but the intro, we have Imperium reunited. Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Ricci was there. Had on the Imperium tights. I wish they could have gone back to their old names. Fabian Eichner, Marcel Bartel, Walter. But nonetheless, Imperium have been reunited. So I gotta give props to that. Gotta give props to that. So it was really good to see them reunite at Clash at the Castle, standing by the side of Gunther. Now, of course, when it came down to it, the Brawling Brutes, Ridge Holland and Butch, Pete Dunne, had a brawl with Imperium, and pretty much Sheamus and Gunther was standing there face to face as that was going on. And of course, when it was all said and done, both sides, were eliminated to the back, and it just came down to Gunther and Sheamus. And they had a hard-hitting match, man. Gunther really lit up Sheamus's chest. I mean, his chest looked like salami. I mean, he must have taken a good 20 something chops that match. At least 20 chops. So, and of course, for those that have seen Gunther Walter wrestle, y'all know what his chops are like. Y'all have seen his chops. So, put two and two together. But this was a very hard-hitting match, and it was really cool to see Sheamus bust out, some different moves, busting out white noise. He even hit the Celtic Cross on Gunther. That was really cool to see him use that. I haven't seen him use that in a long time, because, the Celtic Cross, that was his old finisher back in ECW. Well, actually, he had that and the Irish Curse backbreaker as a finisher as well. But still, it was really cool to see him bust out the Celtic Cross crucifix powerbomb. So that was really cool. But it was definitely back and forth. And before you know it, Gunther hit a second powerbomb and then a clothesline, almost like, JBL style clothesline from hell. And was able to pick up the victory, the 1-2-3 on Sheamus. A highly fought match between these two. And if you ask me, I'd have to go on record and say this was probably Sheamus's best match in his WWE career. I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Gunther and got respect and love and admiration from the crowd. The crowd was definitely on his side. And, I don't think this necessarily means a face turn for Sheamus. Maybe. But it was good to see him being praised and loved by the crowd. And, as he was leaving, down the walkway, greeting fans and such. So, I don't know if this is a face turn. I mean, just given where they're at. But it was really good to see the love that he got from the crowd after the match. Because he put up an excellent fight. And, someday, Sheamus will probably get a championship, a singles title, at some point. I think he's been well overdue. I think it's a matter of time. But he put up one heck of a fight. Next up, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line as the champion, Liv Morgan, sporting white ring gear. She usually wears a lot of black and darker colors, and this time she wore all white to the ring. And she went up against Shayna Baszler. Now, the big question with this was, if Liv Morgan was to win, how would she win and win clean? And I have to be honest with you. The way that this match went made it very believable with the outcome. And you have to, give the announce team credit how there was a lot hyped up for this match. Especially mentioning how Liv Morgan got some extra training from Matt Riddle. And it definitely showed as she was rolling out of and countering some of Shayna's submission attempts. So I thought that was pretty cool, how well they sold that. And, even though it seemed like at one point Shayna was in clear control, Liv fought hard. And, the way that they're making this seem like a Cinderella story with Liv, this match made it a little more believable. It made it a little more believable because she was literally reversing submission attempts and even locking on submissions on Shayna. I mean, she had her in the triangle choke. She had her in the armbar. Like, she legit had Shayna in those submissions. Of course, I knew she was going to break out of it. I mean, because this is nothing new for her. But still, Liv Morgan actually looked legit in this match. I got to give it to him. She actually looked legit in this match. And when it came down to it, she was able to dodge a knee strike, hit like a version of the code breaker, bounces Shayna to the ropes, and then hit a Oblivion right afterwards to get the 1-2-3. And Liv Morgan retains the SmackDown Women's Championship and actually beat Shayna Baszler clean. She actually beat her clean. And you know what? I can appreciate the way they did that. I can appreciate the way that they did the finish. And just the preparation, how they hyped this up. I mean, you know what? The match itself seemed very legit. So I gotta give them credit. They definitely did this a lot better than they did with, the finish with Ronda Rousey. Which I would think at some point Ronda's going to come back into the picture and go after Liv Morgan. Especially now that she's been reinstated and can compete again. Also, I know there was some thinking that maybe Ronda would have tried to interfere, which wouldn't be a surprise. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. If there's some sort of angle that happens where we do see Shayna and Ronda, team up, or they're at least on the same side and whatnot. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I gotta give them credit with how this match went, and the finish. It made sense. It was believable, and Liv got the victory clean. She got it clean. So I gotta give props. Next up, we had the tag team match. Edge and Rey Mysterio, of course accompanied by Dominic Mysterio, taking on Judgment Day. Of course, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, of course, Rhea Ripley accompanied them. Thought it was interesting, Edge coming out wearing a luchador mask in his ring entrance, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And then we have to also remember, Edge and Rey Mysterio, they go way back. They were former tag champs, so, I mean, they go way back. They've known each other for years. So anyway, they had this match, and both teams were showcased really well. We saw some involvement from Dominic Mysterio. We saw some involvement from Rhea Ripley. And honestly, with the way things were going, it could have gone either way. Even Edge did a 619. I mean, it was all right. It could have been better, but Edge did a 619. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah. Overall, the match was pretty good. Like I said, it was back and forth. It could have gone either way. And sure enough, Edge and Rey Mysterio pick up the victory, pick up the 1-2-3. So that part, was cool. But it was what happened after the match that really didn't make a lot of sense to me. So after the match, as they were celebrating, Dominic low blows Edge and then clotheslines Rey Mysterio, his father. Now, don't get me wrong. I was originally predicting Dominic was going to eventually turn on his father. But not like this. Like, why do it that way? Like, why couldn't they just have Dominic cost Edge and Rey Mysterio the match? Judgment Day wins. Dominic joins in on the beatdown of Edge and Rey Mysterio. You know what I mean? Like, why couldn't it have been done that way? It devalues the victory that Edge and Rey Mysterio got. And it, even though Judgment Day had the last laugh with the Dominic turn, it didn't make really much sense to do the turn after that team got the victory. You know what I mean? Which Dom stayed true throughout the match and helping out and assisting. So I just really feel like match was good. The finish was good, but just the ending made no sense to me. Like, why not have him cost Edge and Rey Mysterio the match by like attacking Rey Mysterio or just, some sort of thing where he clearly turns on them during the match and Judgment Day gets the victory, takes advantage. That would have made more sense to me than Dominic just turning on Rey and Edge after they won the match. You know what I mean? I didn't like that finish. I didn't like that. So, on that. Next up, we had the singles match of Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. Seth Rollins, he looked really wild and all that red and orange, kind of looking like an imp or like a devil or something like that. It was weird, and had heart sunglasses. That was weird. But they had one heck of a match. Man, it was definitely back and forth. This match told a really great story. Well, it's continuing to tell a great story between these two. And it was very much back and forth. I mean, it was crazy. Like, Riddle even pulled off like a 3 or 4 hit 4 wrestling move combo on Seth Rollins. And, it was crazy. But back and forth. And eventually, Seth Rollins, it took 2 stomps, one from the second rope, to put away Matt Riddle for the 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I thought it was a good call. Because lately, it seems like Seth Rollins hasn't really been able to really pick up victories on pay-per-views. I mean, after all, he lost 3 straight to Cody. You know what I mean? So, I felt like Seth Rollins needed this victory the most between the two. So, I definitely agree with the finish. But it's definitely not over between Riddle and Rollins. I don't think it's over. But definitely I felt like it was the right call, Seth Rollins winning. And then we had the main event for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defends against Drew McIntyre. Now, first off, I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed. They did the Broken Dreams theme for Drew McIntyre, but they did it as an intro. But yet, for his entrance, still did his usual theme. Like, that was kind of a letdown. Like, they really should have had Broken Dreams as his entrance theme. As his entrance to the ring. Just having it, like, tease like an intro, it's kind of a letdown. Like, there was already rumors and teasings of him busting out Broken Dreams again. And don't get me wrong, it was so good to hear that theme again. It's excellent. But if they were going to do that, they should have made it his entrance theme, not an intro. You know what I mean? So, that was kind of a letdown. But as far as the match was great. These two threw everything at each other. Spears, Superman punches. I mean, even Drew McIntyre used a spear twice one through the barricade. We saw claymores. We even saw a cash-in attempt from Austin Theory, but as he was submitting the briefcase to the referee, he got knocked out from the front row with a knockout punch from Tyson Fury, who was in attendance. So yeah, that pretty much thwarted that cash-in attempt. But the bell never rung, so Austin Theory technically still has the briefcase. But the referee got taken out. That was an opportunity that Austin Theory tried to get a ref and cash in. Tyson Fury messed it up. And thankfully, while the other referee was down, they still had that second one to help officiate the still ongoing match. And while it looked like Drew McIntyre was getting ready to win after another Claymore, referee was getting ready to count 1, 2, and just before he hit his hand for 3, he gets pulled out of the ring. It wasn't Jimmy or Jey Uso. It wasn't Paul Heyman. The three of them weren't even there for this match. But the youngest brother of the Usos. The youngest brother of the Usos, Solo Sikoa. Wow. He appears, pulled the ref out, distracted Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns hits one more spear, gets the 1, 2, 3, and Roman Reigns is still your WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. The streak continues. The reign continues. And sure enough, Solo Sikoa walks away with Roman Reigns. So, if anything, that pretty much says that Solo Sikoa has gotten the call up and he is joining his brothers and cousin, joining the bloodline. That was quite a surprise. And there were rumors that he was going to get called up, so it's not crazy, but hey, I thought this was pretty cool. You know, being that the Usos and Paul Heyman weren't there, hey, Solo Sikoa, call up. So, hey, looks like he's going to be there in the bloodline now. Now, I know a lot of folks may have been disappointed that Drew McIntyre didn't win, felt like he should have won, but it's like I said before. Like, I really feel like before Roman Reigns loses the titles, I really feel like it makes sense for the Usos to lose their titles first. Because why would you have the head of the table? Why would you have the main boss lose his titles before, you know, the Usos? You know, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. If they're going to start the downfall of the bloodline, I would think it would have to be through the Usos losing the titles first. You know what I mean? So, I'm not surprised that Roman Reigns got the victory. And maybe Drew McIntyre might get another shot later. I don't know. A lot of folks are thinking that maybe Cody Rhodes dethrones Roman Reigns, maybe at next year's WrestleMania. I don't know. But I can't say that I'm surprised at the outcome. Because it really makes a lot of sense. Because why would they have Roman lose his titles before the Usos lose theirs? You know what I mean? That just would look weird. That would look really weird. You know? So, I thought that was the right call. Thought that was the right decision. Afterwards, Tyson Fury shook Roman Reigns' hand. Picked up Drew McIntyre. They had a sing-along. They had a celebration. The crowd, you know, of course the crowd shows their love for Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre. Overall, I thought this was a good pay-per-view. I did. I thought the matches were solid. Thought they were good quality. Like I said, I felt like the only bad things were the ending to the Edge Rey Mysterio Judgment Day tag match. And uh I mean, honestly, that's really the main. I felt like that was really the main bad thing I didn't like was that ending. That was really the main thing. But aside from that, I would say that this was a pretty solid pay per view. Clash at the Castle. I thought this was a pretty good pay per view. I can't really say that it was trash or terrible, to be honest with you. The matches were solid. So, hey, thumbs up for Clash at the Castle. But, anyways, that's pretty much all that I have. They also did announce and advertise that their next pay per view will be October 8th in Philadelphia, and this is Extreme Rules. So that's the WWE's next upcoming pay per view, October 8th, Extreme Rules. So I have to see what they start to do to start prepping and booking towards that pay per view. So have to see what happens with that. But anyway, that's it for Clash at the Castle over in Cardiff, Wales. The premium, I guess you could say premium live event or whatnot. I thought it was, legit pay-per-view, but either way, let me know what y'all thought. What did y'all think of Clash at the Castle? What did you think of the matches? What did you think of the outcomes? So there were no title changes. So, yeah, let me know what y'all's thoughts were. What did y'all think of the appearance of Solo Sikoa? Looks like he's officially gotten called up. How do you think he'll do with the bloodline? Remember, that's the youngest brother of Jimmy and Jay Uso. So, hey, I feel like it's a perfect fit. But, when do you think Roman Reigns' streak will end? And also as well as the Usos, because they're still the tag champs. And they've been the tag champs, I think they said for over 400 something days. So they're still the tag champs. For how long? We'll have to wait and see. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. And thank y'all so much for watching. Looking forward to NXT Worlds Collide as well as AEW All Out tomorrow. Should be fun. Still got some more pro wrestling. Although I'm probably going to catch the archive of Worlds Collide on Monday since I'll be out of town at a baby shower. But definitely looking forward to All Out tomorrow night. 15 matches. It's going to be great. But anyway, until then, this has been another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I am your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody continues to enjoy their Labor Day weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video. God bless. Peace.